folks. My name is Marisa Robinson. I am the Director of Communicative Operations for MR Inc. Today, I am here with my very, very good friend, Tony Macalpine. Tony, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Marissa. It's good to be here, and I'm just going to have a good old time and keep it that way.
Glad to hear it. So today, I'm going to be interviewing him, asking him a bunch of questions, and getting answers for all of you folks out there. So let's jump into it. What do you think?
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds good.
Alrighty.
Right off the bat, we're going to ask, from the very beginning, what fueled your interest in music?
My upbringing, definitely my parents were really focused on raising us surrounded with the arts, and that was an important thing. It's a very helpful thing, because we all found our niche, we all found our instrument to play, and there was 5 kids, in the family, so that was the beginning of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
And definitely, as everyone knows, playing an instrument fuels your creativity, and it keeps your mind sharp, and it's an amazing talent to have.
Well, I don't know about my mind being sharp. What do you think?
Do you really want me to answer that?
It does keep your thinking, exercise and your memory going. I mean, I started playing classical, obviously, so I had to read and memorize pieces and couldn't bring the music out on stage with me. Mm. So in that respect, I think it helps you with your fundamentals of thinking and understanding things.
Mm-hmm. So as we all know, everyone has some kind of hero, someone they look up to. Who are your favorite guitarists, and how have they influenced you?
Oh, I have so many, favorite guitar players, and my goodness, it's just varied. It really is. It goes from jazz guys, to the rock superstar players, and many of these players I've had the great happening of actually working with them and being part of making music with them. Mm-hmm. So that's been great too. I mean if you went way back, it was Johnny Winter and so many different types of blues players that I listened to. Back then, George Benson I listened to, just even to this day, as such a jazz superstar and just like a faceted musician.
Mm-hmm.
So many different types of things that he's singing. As which is really amazing. And his playing is just beyond this planet.
Yeah.
And then rock wise, obviously rock wise, Eddie Van Halen, and just go down the line. Just doesn't stop there, because I started playing in clubs. Early on,
mm-hmm.
In the 80s, and we covered all that stuff, Ozzy stuff, so I was listening to Randy Rhoads, and yeah, it was just goes like that. It just goes like that, man. It's just a lot of stuff I was just, hearing, and then, of course, got to work with Steve Vai, who I always admired,
mm-hmm.
and was working with him for, 4 or 5 years in this band, until we were fighting over a biscuit, and,
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Who do you think won? Steve.
Yeah.
I love him. He's amazing.
Wow. Yeah. I'm it's amazing to hear that it's such a broad variety. It's not just, it's this one person or the other. It's evolved, same thing with you, and changed over time with music tastes as well.
Yes. Everything is, I think, isn't that a key? I mean, you're a musician. I mean, you can't hide that. We know that. That's an important aspect of it. It kind of really monitors and gauges your growth. Because
yes,
your changes influence what you might be composing, and your general taste of, what do we say, resting our ears when we just listen to whatever we want to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
That changes, and
Yep.
and it's important not to fight that and let that thing happen, because that's the growth of creativity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, staying on the topic of time, going back, how does recording music today differ from when you started your professional career in the 80s?
Well, I would say obviously the advent of the digital, phenomena, this thing that we work with now today, just, computers being the center of how we're working.
Everything works around technology
You
now.
know, and it's very non-destructive recording. I'm very happy about the things that we did in the early days. You know, working with such great people like Mike Varney and, you know, Steve Fontiano, Muka Rennick, the guys in Prairie Sun, and all these fabulous studios I worked with. You know, Brian Levi in you know, right outside Burbank, Clear Lake Audio. There's just so many great experiences I've had, and that's helped me, you know, work in my own place and learn how to, you know, get things done. Except I just don't have, you know, people to talk to as much. It's like, you find yourself when you work, you know, doing your own thing, you're kind of, you know, you're the jack of all trades, right? You're running around doing everything. Yeah, but the difference probably is just it's a little quicker today. We're not depending on tape. We're just really working with you know, computer drives and different things of that nature. So
yeah, and everything is so much more accessible too. You know, you can contact people much more quickly, and you know, if you mess up, it's just a simple undo, and everything's back to the way that it was. And
yes, that's the truth. That's the help all button, right?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
only if we had that back in the day.
Saved us more times than we can count.
I am telling you, that's true.
Well, you know, since you're recording and of course you play guitars, how many guitars do you own? Is there a favorite that you have, or?
I don't really own that many guitars. I you know, I have. Well, you know how guitars are to, when they wear in, when they get that kind of worn out, you know, feeling, they really become one. But I still like newer guitars, but you know, the guitars that are just made in such an incredibly high level. I love my Ibanez guitars. I have about 8 of them. I have a new acoustic that I just got that I really love, that I've been able to record with just recently. So
yeah, it was in the music video that you just released.
What music video? Did I scare you? I did use it in Tea Gardens, yes. And it's amazing neck, just plays well. The body is very comfortable to hold. Consistent with the rest of the instruments that I use. Yeah.
A lot of people have asked, why do you sometimes include classical piano music into your releases?
Well, I feel like it's an important, you know, indicator and of you know, my true beginning of instrumental music, because I grew up playing, you know, the piano from age 5, and I played and still play to this day lots of, you know, instrumental great works, you know, and I've people have found this out that I play, you know, early on in the beginning. They were like, why don't you record, you know, something on this record? Why don't you record? And I think really pretty much that's how it started. You know, we did it once, and then we kind of kept doing it, and it became something that was fun to do. And that's kind of how it started, really. Just
I think it's an even balance too. You know, it gets your mind working. You hear the guitar, and the next moment you hear the piano, and then, you know, kind of gives you some time to think and really analyze everything too.
I think so. And sometimes you can see a connection in you know, the creation process of where it came from, putting all these things together, and the counterpoint ideas and the different chordal ideas that I sometimes use. Yeah, that's a great question. I like that one.
Do you prefer live performances or studio live?
I don't think there's any preference for me. It's very important to, when you're in the studio, to record and get the most out of the material that was written, and you're always I think consciously thinking about what it's gonna be like to actually play it, you know, in a live situation also at the same time. So there's not really a preference. I really do enjoy recording, but I also record. I mean, I also love the energy level of you know, playing live. There's something about that, you know, that give and go thing. You know,
yeah, they're like two separate worlds.
Right. And both of them are highly addicting. So, yeah, I like them both.
Yeah. Wow. And, you know, you can definitely see the difference too. And it's like you said, there's no comparison. But, it being able to do both of those and having, like you said, the energy level from performances and then just having the quietness of studio life is also beneficial, being able to sulk in both of them.
Yes. Well, I've been lucky enough to have done some live videos over the years of complete shows with some guests.
Mm-hmm.
And, that was really exciting, to be part of the EMG live
Mm-hmm.
videos that we did, and we had Jeff Loomis come up and play,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
and Neely Brush was playing, and Keely's Priester, and
Mm-hmm.
it just was so much fun to play with Pete Griffin on bass, and and have a lot of fun doing that. And that energy level was there, but we were also recording at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking to doing that again,
Mhm.
coming up, with this new event.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Well, this next question is a little off topic, but what is your biggest regret in life?
I don't know if I'm really happy with what I've set out to do, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I gave it my most biggest effort that I possibly could. Regrets are oftentimes just lessons, that we've had in life that
Mhm.
we have to move away from and move on from. So I don't really carry any of that with me. I'm just really happy to be able to, be part of this whole, wonderful movement,
Mm-hmm.
called art, music, and it's great to be able to do that and make people feel good about something that you're doing, and they make you feel good in return. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of positive energy
Yeah.
that's exchanged that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely the reciprocation between that. It can't just be one-sided, or else it doesn't become fun. It doesn't stay fun.
Absolutely, it's more work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, positive energy, keeping that going. What is the weirdest or funniest question you've ever been asked in an interview?
That one.
Write it in the books.
I'm gonna write that one in the books. No, I don't know. Well, people might ask you, what's it like? What's it like? Being you recording, or being you playing. I've had questions like that, and I don't know, because I've always been me, so I don't really know.
Can't be anyone else.
Yeah, I don't know what that's like. So those kind of questions are always gonna, you think about them when somebody says that, and you get too, philosophical about it, like, what do they mean exactly? And I don't think that they really want you to really get that deep about it, but
Mhm.
that's a weird question.
Yeah.
So please don't ask that.
Well, I'm gonna give you another one. If you could be any fruit, which fruit would you be?
I think that I would be a lemon.
A lemon. Is there any specific reason you just like lemons, or?
Lemons are great in tea. A lot of people don't know that.
They really are. They really are. Lemons are good. Well, I don't know how good they are for you, but when you put them in tea, generally people say that it's good for you. So
It is really good,
can't argue against that.
and it's healthy for you.
Yeah.
Helps you.
Yeah. As long as you don't eat them too much, it can destroy your enamel, tooth enamel. But
Have you seen these teeth lately?
Oh dear. Well, anyways, I think this is what most fans have been waiting for, this question, since the album just released and there's a lot of hype. Everyone's loving it. What motivated you to create your newest release, Equilibrium? What does it mean to you?
Equilibrium came about at a time in my life that was very, very emotionally reaching time.
Mm.
Begonia Ramos, my wife, died of cancer, and I know the impact that's had on her family, and the impact it's had on me. And at some point in time, I realized, I had to get to the point of feeling like she felt like when she was here,
Mhm.
which you knew her, and
Mhm.
she was very much the brightest smile in the world constantly,
Yes.
right? Light up a room when you walked in,
Mhm.
and a wonderful musician who studied and went to Berklee College of Music, and graduated from there. And we had the pleasure of working on a record that she did. that she did all the creation, with the the album design, and this is how she was,
Yeah.
So with that happened in May of last year, and so that was a point in my life when I had to really take the energy that she had and go on with what I had to do as a musician, because that's obviously what she would have wanted.
Yeah.
And that was the birth of Equilibrium.
Mm-hmm.
So the Equilibrium record, the fuel of the record was definitely from her.
Mm-hmm. And why did you pick the title Equilibrium?
Well, I felt like it, not to sound corny, but there really was a perfect balance, I thought, of some of the ideas that I was trying to really put together,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the other ideas that I was fighting. So with me, there's always, there's a push and pull of the songs I'm going to include and songs I'm not, because I always write way more than the songs that end up on the record.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I've picked the perfect balance of songs that displayed what I was emotionally feeling when I composed them.
Mm-hmm. And not only just the songs, but with yourself as well, going through that kind of heartache and pain, that kind of loss, and turning it into motivation and inspiration. That's also, a good balance of that. Some people, they stay in one stage or the other and they can't leave.
This is true. And, this is a happening in our lives that's not unique to me. It's unique to it. Well, it's everyone goes through these situations at some point in their life,
Yeah.
that somebody moves on from this reality that we live in to a different one. And we spend so little time, really thinking about what that really is all about, and thinking about, I think at times, things that just really shouldn't really be of importance, like the craziness that goes on,
Yeah.
when we really should, I think, focus more on being united, which is really what we all are.
Yeah.
You know how it is, like sometimes you're thinking about a person and then next thing you know they call on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's a lot to that we never really, think about as much. We just think more about things that probably get us down, and we focus on that, and then that starts to have an influence on the things we do and the things we say.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I just think, the positive energy and learning from the darkest moments is really one of the important lessons in our lives
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that we all go through.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
So tell me about the musicians on the album.
Wow, it was so exciting to work with Dirk Verburen, the amazing, super talented drummer.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, he plays in Megadeth, and I've seen him do so many things. He's so creative, just really a really musical individual, positive force in the studio, great energy, very uplifting, extremely musical drummer.
Mm-hmm.
That, you don't really have to focus on too many of the smaller things, in the studio.
Yeah.
You just let the music thing happen.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just such a super talent, and I look forward so much to being able to work with him again,
Mm-hmm.
in the future. He just, he's like way up there for me.
Yeah.
Unbelievable player. Another great musician that I worked with on the record, but wasn't really in a playing capacity, was Adair Daffenbach,
Mm-hmm.
who has I've been so blessed to work with him on other records before that he's done.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just such a brilliant guitar player, which he's been hiding from me. and his bass playing is just, stellar too. He's just super gifted player. That was the nucleus of the team, of all of us, putting together Equilibrium.
Mm-hmm.
And he just is, he's just a perfect engineer, perfect overseer, has a great ability to, be creative when he's speaking, and it really helps you focus on being musical and focus on being relaxed, and that's an important element. So that was the party. That was the party actually in the studio.
Wow. Very nice. And it's, it's great that you guys had such positive energy. Sometimes being in the studio can be so stressful and you're at each other's necks. And so being able to, interact with people that you get along with and, everyone contributing is really nice.
That's true. It's an important factor. It really is. But, what this process of making music and, you can just go online and read about so many wonderful players that both of those guys have worked with and in bands and musicians and it just reads like a huge list, and they wouldn't get that type of interaction with other people if it wasn't for them having the ability to really associate and blend and mend themselves into this situation.
Well, that's all the questions that we've got for today. Thank you so much for coming in today. I had such a great time talking to you.
I had so much more to say.
Well, we're going to do this again, definitely. So you can write those things down and we'll bring them up next time.
Excellent. Well, thank you for coming down and talking. I had super great time talking with you.
Yes, absolutely. It's always fun. Always a pleasure to be here and hang out with you.
Thank you, Marisa. All the best.
Same to you. Thank you.